what's up everyone? Ryan X here from Team Instinct Poker, and today we're going to be talking about ACR, otherwise known as America's Cardroom, and its CEO, Phil Nagy. So they're part of the WPN, which is the Winning Poker Network, and we're going to be talking about a lot of the controversy that's surrounded the site over the past couple of years. And what I mean by that is a while back there was some bot accounts that were found on the site, and so a lot of people question the site's legitimacy because of that. And then there's a whole group of people who are very open and honest and blunt about whether or not they think the site is legitimate or not, because they put it out there and they think that the RNG, or the random number generator, can be tweaked or manipulated to promote action. And so we're going to be going over that as well. And in the end, I'm going to let you know what I think, in my opinion, over Phil Nagy, ACR, and WPN, based off of all the research I've done and my own experiences of playing on the site. So I'll be letting you know about that in the end of the video. But before we get into all that, if you're a poker player, part of the poker community, and you play a lot of online poker, you may have already played on ACR's site, you may know someone who does, or you may have heard about all the controversy already. But if you're not, and you're new to poker, or you've been around poker for a while but you're new to online poker and you're just trying to figure out what America's Cardroom is all about and maybe what site you might want to play on, I suggest that you do all the research you can. You dig deep. All the facts are out there for you to make the best decision possible. But I suggest that you read all the articles and watch all the videos you can of not only one side of the fence. Don't just do research of and look into stuff of people who think that the site's rigged for XYZ reason. Look into stuff on both sides of the fence so that you can step away from it and make the best decision moving forward about whether or not you want to play on America's Cardroom in the future or not. So having said that, whether you're new and you're trying to figure it all out, or you've heard about all the controversy for a while now, I suggest that everybody watch an interview that Phil Nagy did with Joe Ingram. Joe Ingram had him on his podcast, and it's on his YouTube channel, and he did a fantastic job interviewing him. He laid it all on the line. He threw a lot of tough questions out there, and that was Phil Nagy's opportunity to kind of field those questions, respond to a lot of the controversy, and defend himself, ACR, and WPN as a whole. And it's just a wonderful, fantastic interview. I think that Phil Nagy did a really good job of letting us into his personality and letting us get an insight and a good look at who it is that he is. He came across as very raw and real and uncut, and all the questions, you can tell, are totally unscripted and real. And so one of the things that I respected the most during that interview, and that I respected the most about Phil Nagy, is that he owned a lot of what has happened, and he said, hey, look, yes, I know and we know that there's bots on the site, and maybe we haven't done a good enough job of making sure that they're taken care of and not on there. He said, but what I can tell you and what I do know is that each and every day moving forward, we're going to do better and we're going to get better to make sure that this sort of stuff is taken care of and doesn't happen again. And we're going to take progressive steps in action to make sure that it doesn't happen. And they did. And so from my experience, I have not run across any bot accounts on the site at all. And Phil Nagy also responds to the whole controversy over whether or not the RNG, the random number generator, is rigged to promote action or not. So totally fantastic interview. Head on over to Joe Ingram's page and check it out. So in the end, though, you're going to have to decide what you think as a whole of whether or not you want to play on America's Cardroom or not. But what I think is from a lot of the research that I've done, and from playing on the site, I've played on the site on and off from fall of 2020. So I haven't played on the site very long, but I'm a tournament player, so I've played a lot of tournaments on there at micro and low stakes. And from what, like I said, I can tell, I think that the site is a clean site, and I think that they're running a clean game. I have not come across any bots. And as far as all the controversy over the RNG, look, I do not think that at all. I don't think that the RNG is rigged to promote action at all. And I think that if you do think that, then you should not. I think that that's wrong. I think that if you think that you should take a step back and analyze yourself and analyze the game that you play. And I think that if you're around a lot of live poker, which I am, then you'll see it happen live all the time. Yes, do you see it happen online more? Yes, but that's because you're seeing tons and tons more hands per hour online than you ever will live, especially if you're multi-tabling online. You're just going to see a shit ton more hands than you ever will live. So that gives people this jaded misconception in their mind that when they play online that it's rigged or not real, but in reality there's a lot of factors that are playing into that given situation and scenario that maybe they're forgetting about because they just took a really bad beat on the river. And not only that, but if you watch a lot of a lot of poker on TV, you notice that it happens on there all the time as well when they televise it. And through my research of trying to figure out what it was that I needed to know, I watched thousands and thousands of hands of streamers who stream their poker tournaments and poker play on Twitch and YouTube, and they streamed on Party Poker, GG Poker, WSOP.com, Ignition, Americas Cardroom. And it happens to them too on all the different sites. So happens live, happens online on all the different sites, happens on TV when they televise those live tournaments with the big pros. It's poker in general. Bad beats, it wouldn't be called bad beat if it didn't happen. So in the end, you're going to have to decide what it is that you think of whether or not you're going to play on America's Cardroom or not. But what it is that I think from my research and my experience is I think that, first of all, ACR and WPN do a fantastic job of marketing. They have great tournament series. Everyone knows about the Venom. They just got done doing the Moss, and then they're doing the Oss right now, and then they're going to be doing the Boss tournament series. So they have a lot of great series going on year-round, and on a daily basis, they have great guarantees for their tournaments and a large player pool, so you never really have to worry about whether or not a tournament's going to run or not. If you don't like playing in huge tournaments, they have smaller sit-and-goes if you're more comfortable with that, or if you're trying to practice your big tournaments where you have a lot of players and a large player pool, then they have those all the time as well. Maybe you're not a tournament player, maybe you like to play cash. They have lots of cash games, different buy-in levels, and different mix of games overall as well. So I think they have great deposit and withdrawal options. I've never had an issue depositing or withdrawing off of America's Cardroom. So overall, America's Cardroom seems to me to be one of the top picks for U.S. players to play online poker. And I don't know Phil Nagy personally, but I'd like to know him. But I don't know him personally, but I think he comes across as a real genuine and honest guy. So I think that him and WPN are running a clean game, plain and simple. So but you tell me what you think down in the comments below, and that's going to wrap it up for today, and I'll catch you next time. But in the end, remember, it's just a game.
Clock. I think I'm after.
You're just an abusive person, man. It's not funny. It's not a game.
Abusive?
You're being abusive to me.
How am I being abusive?
You're being abusive. It's called verbal abuse.
Wasn't gaining any information. He's
what
not talking to you.
What you're doing is verbal abuse. You're a bully.
Abuse?
It's rude. It's mean.
It's called speech play.
It's not about. No, it's not
up.
called speech play. It's called being a bad person. You should really check yourself.
You want to gamble? Okay, I'm all in.
I call.
Let's go.
Woo! Come on, baby. Let's go. Whatever happens, he's cooler.